Okay, so welcome back. This is part 4 in our series where we're showing you how to develop this wonderful, awesome C# Windows Forms application. And what this application does is it goes out and makes a request to a free web server, and it says, hey, for a given location, basically any location you want to pick in the world, at this location, within a radius of 10 or 20 or 50 or 100 miles or whatever, give me all of the detected aircraft in that range and return to me information about all of those aircraft. And our application is taking that information and drawing it on top of a background satellite image that we got from Google Earth. And it is showing you in real time the location of all of these aircraft. We've got 26 aircraft we've detected within 30 miles of this center location. And we talked in the previous videos how we can grab that data for all of the detected flights. And again, there's lots of data, altitude, heading, location, and we grabbed all that data from the web server. And in the previous video, we showed you how to grab the satellite image and the relative latitude and longitude locations of the corners of the image, so that then we can map each flight and decide where in this image to place each flight based on the latitude and longitude relative to the coordinates of this map. So I encourage you to look at those previous videos. In this video, we're going to investigate what turns out to be one of the most challenging aspects of this, and that is once we've got the data on each flight and the relative data of this background satellite image, what mechanism are we going to use in C# Windows Forms to actually draw all of these flights? Now you can see we've got 25 flights that we have to draw, 25 images, but you could have 50, you could have 100 images depending on the range you select and how busy the area is. So it turns out that what you might consider to be the most intuitively obvious approach ends up being by far the worst approach. And we're going to show you what that bad approach is, and we're also going to show you what a vastly improved approach is to draw all of these images. And you can see we're drawing 26 images, and it's only taking us about 34, 39 milliseconds for all of these images, which allows you to have good response of the Windows Forms, and we're going to show you how to do that. So let's take a simple example where, say, we went to the airplanes.live web server and it gave us 3 aircraft detected in the range that we specified with the latitude, longitude, and heading. And in the previous video, we showed you how to get this image of the area you want to look at, a satellite image from Google Earth, and also how to get the place marks that define the upper left, upper right, lower left, and lower right coordinates in terms of latitude and longitude of this image. And what we then have to do is map the actual latitude and longitude coordinates of the aircraft with the latitude and longitude coordinates of the image to figure out where to place it. So for example, we have a latitude of 34.3 here, 33.3, and this has a latitude of 33.9. So we can figure out where to place this, and as a result, we'll get these 3 images placed like this with the different headings. But the question now becomes, how are we going to actually draw these images? Of course, we're going to have to map the latitude and longitudes to the pixel locations of the satellite image, but how are we going to actually draw these? And you might think, well, I'm drawing images, so we're talking about picture boxes probably, and maybe I can be really smart and come up with a way to make it go a lot faster. So here's option 1. If we want to draw these aircraft, we can assume you know how to come up with an image of an aircraft, whatever you want, with a, maybe make it a PNG with a transparent background. I'll assume you know how to come up with an image. But for each flight that we get from the airplanes.live, we might think, well, in order to make this a lot more efficient, maybe I can have a bunch of picture boxes that I've predefined, and in each picture box I have added whatever image. This is before we even check with airplanes.live to find out what aircraft are available. Maybe I can have a whole bunch of picture boxes with a default image that's not rotated, and I can just have them waiting. And when I get an aircraft from airplanes.live, I can say, okay, I've already got a picture box with an image, and I just need to place that picture box and rotate the image, and I'm good to go. So what I might want to do is I get a flight coming in from the web server. I can assign that to a picture box, and throughout the presence of that flight, it's always assigned to the picture box, and I can just rotate the image and move the picture box each time that flight reappears. So you draw the airplane image in the picture box and place in the parent picture box, which is the satellite image. Now, that might sound like a really good way to do it. You prepare a bunch of picture boxes with default images, and you just have to place them and rotate the image each time step, each second or so, and maybe that's going to be really good. Now, the issues are you need to have enough picture boxes for all flights, right? So if you have 100 flights, then when you start up this application, you're going to have 100 picture boxes, each with its own default flight image. And then you need to assign new flights to available picture boxes, which means you're going to have logic, what picture boxes are available, assign that flight. And you're going to have to kind of keep a history of, for each picture box, which flight is assigned, so that when you get a new flight, you can search through and see for that flight what picture box is assigned, so then I know what to do with it. And then for old flights that have left the area, I need to unassign those old flights and make the picture box available or invisible. Maybe you said, okay, I've got a bunch of picture boxes with default images. I can be really smart and just make them invisible. And as I need them, I make them visible, assign them to an aircraft call sign, and I'm off and running. And then I need to keep track of which flight is assigned to which picture box. So it turns out there's a lot of background information you need to do this, to assign picture boxes, to unassign them, to make invisible, and that kind of thing. So this might be the most intuitively obvious approach, but in fact, it is by far the worst approach. Now, option 2, which we're going to show you how to do, is for each flight, and this may seem very non-intuitive, basically draw everything from scratch. Instead of keeping a list of available picture boxes and images that have already been assigned, it turns out it's a whole lot faster if you can, for each flight, create a rectangle defining the location of a new aircraft image, draw the airplane image on the background image, and then when all flights are drawn on the background image, make the picture box image equal that modified image. So basically, what's a whole lot faster is to draw everything from scratch each time step instead of having this history of picture boxes. And you have to use these graphics objects and rectangles. And if you do it that way, as you can see, instead of taking 3 seconds, it might take only 32 milliseconds to draw all of these images. So we're going to look at this technique, basically drawing everything from scratch on a graphics object over the satellite image, and do that for each time step, draw everything from scratch. So here we are in our C# Visual Studio Windows Forms application. And as I normally do, I've got my documents, my to-do, some properties, some initialization we'll talk about, and then methods and event handlers. And previously we talked about how to grab data from the web server on all detected flights that we specify the range and the location, and to map them to this flights class. And the actual data on each flight is in this array of aircraft, an aircraft class. It's got a description, latitude, longitude, altitude, ground speed, tracking, and all this other information. But really all we need is latitude and longitude and heading out of this, or track, which is the heading, to determine how we're going to put these on the image. So again, we're mapping everything to this AC array of aircraft. And when we look down into the methods, previously we talked about this get planes async, which is a very simple way to go to airplanes.live and grab the data, which is basically a flights class called flight, and it has mapped all of the detected flights into that array of objects. So now we've got a flight for each time step, and we can just step through each of those and draw images for each corresponding flight. So what we're going to focus on is this draw flights method, where basically you just feed it this list of flights in the flights class, and it goes through and does all of the drawing of all the images. And I've also got a stopwatch, as we showed before. We start the stopwatch when we start drawing, and we end the stopwatch when we're done, to tell us how long it took to process and draw all these images. And as you saw, for like 26 flights, it only took us like 30 something milliseconds. So all this is very, very fast compared to the alternative method. Now, previously, I also had a flight graphics class that we no longer need. So you can erase that if you started looking at that. But that was basically to keep all the history of all the picture boxes and assigned flights. And we just don't need that now if we're using this graphics approach, where we draw everything from scratch each time step. So I've basically got the flights class, and I've got an app graphics class that we'll talk about. And what it does is it just keeps some information and some methods that we're going to need to rotate the image, map the ranges, like map the latitude and longitude to pixel values, convert latitude, longitude to pixels, extract the place marks. And also it's got this geolocation class. So for each place mark from the satellite image we talked about, it's got the place mark name, latitude and longitude. So as we load that satellite image and the latitude and longitude place marks, it will give us a list of these geolocations that we can access when we're placing the image. So basically the draw flights class, we give it a list of all the flights, and we're starting out by defining a bitmap, which is going to be the final image that ends up being sent to the picture box each time step. And that's what we're going to define. We're going to have the satellite image and the latest drawn aircraft images on this image. So we're defining the final image that's going to go to the picture box, and a size we're defining for the user definable size of that aircraft image. And what we're going to do, instead of using picture boxes, we're going to be using a graphics object. We're going to call it G, graphics from image, final image. So we're going to have a graphics object. We start out with that final image bitmap, and we're going to draw the satellite image on that graphics object. So we're going to do g.drawImage file map, which is the satellite image at a new point 0, 0 in the upper left corner. So we're going to start out by drawing onto that graphics image the satellite image. And then we're going to draw each received aircraft image. So in order to draw the airplane images with their centers at the correct pixel location, reflecting their actual lat-lon position, keep in mind that each of these images is defined for pixels from the upper left corner. So we're going to want to get the center of each of these aircraft so we can place the center at the correct location. We need to adjust the position of the rectangle containing the image. Since the rectangle XY position is defined by upper left corner, we need to offset this location to the center. So just keep that in mind. So we're going through for the flights, flight.ac, the array of flights, for the count of all the flights incoming in that time step. We're going to extract the call sign as a string, and we can also define, you don't need this now, but we can also say, I don't want private aircraft to be shown, just the commercial ones. And we can show you a little bit later, there is a method we have to determine if it's a commercial or non-commercial flight. You can remove this for now if you want. So if show private is not checked, and if the call sign is not commercial, then just continue, don't draw anything. Otherwise, if it's a commercial flight, get the pixel coordinates of the upper left corner of the rectangle containing the airplane image. So we're going to find a point called location, and we're going to use the app graphics class, and we're going to use a method in that app graphics class, convert lat-lon to pixels. So it's going to take the latitude and longitude of that incoming flight and convert it to a pixel location. Now, again, we have to calculate an offset location that reflects the center of the rectangle and airplane image. So we're going to define a new point, which is actually the offset location. And so we take the new point, location.x, minus convert to int 32, size.width divided by 2, and that is the size of the airplane image. And this basically is just going to give us the center location. And now we're going to have a new rectangle at the offset location, the center of that image. And we're going to say the rotated image of that aircraft based on the track value that we receive. The rot image, we're going to use another rotate image method in this app graphics. This rotate image where you give it an input bitmap and an angle, and it goes through and rotates it. So rotate image, the default image of the aircraft, we call it a bitmap. And then we're going to say the flight AC.track, which is actually a double. We're going to make that a float. And that is going to be a bitmap defining the rotated image. And then we are going to draw image for that rectangle in that image. Okay. So basically, we go through for all of the flights and draw them from scratch on that background image. And when it's all done, we are going to say picturebox1.image is final image. Now we can also have the user, you can see here we have a user input where they can check if they want the call signs shown on the image. If call signs.checked is true, get the flight, which gives you the call sign of the flight, and a new location. We're going to put that text up at a new point, which is up at an x of -20 and a y of -20. You can change that if you want. And then you do a draw string to draw that, whatever that call sign text is, in this font, brushes.white, and the CS location. And you can put in the call signs. So really, that's all we do. And this is very, very fast. It uses graphics and rectangles. And every time step takes that satellite image, draws all of the images of the aircraft at the correct location and rotation, and then sends that final image to the picture box. Now we've also got a process time, stopwatch milliseconds, and then we are putting in the labels, the process time and the number of flights on top of the satellite image. So really, that is how simple it is to draw all those flights. Again, you don't need to keep track of rectangles and so on. That takes a whole lot of time, and this is far better and far more efficient. So in the next video, we're going to try and bring all this together and show you some of the additional stuff we need. For example, the app graphics class. We've got these methods, rotate image, map ranges. Again, we're going to have to take latitude and longitude and map them to pixel locations and so on. So we'll talk about those. But at this point, you've got a pretty good idea about the basic layout of this application. Now, we also have some functionality we're going to talk about where just because we have a call sign doesn't mean we know what the company is. For example, United Airlines, American Airlines. So there's additional functionality where we have to go out to a CSV file to figure out for a given call sign what company is that associated with, so we can print out the company. And we've got some other functionality here that we're going to talk about. But that's it for this one. If you're liking these videos, I encourage you to hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notifications. But most of all, please let others know that we're here so we get some views. Really appreciate it. Otherwise, take care. Have a really good day. Thanks.